Okay. Well, thank you for coming for today's Happy Puppy Yoga. For those who are not familiar with me, I am Pup Snuggles. I have taught yoga classes at various such events, IML, both for Wolf Camp and Off Leash, Puppies in the Mountains for several years, 1 or 2 years at International Pups and Handlers Weekend, the Indiana Puppy Contest, and a couple other places. Um, I am a registered yoga teacher living here in Chicago. I'm going to keep today's class fairly simple, given that not everyone attending is practiced with yoga regularly. I do, and I've already mentioned this to the people who have been in the room for a while, I recommend having something to use as yoga blocks, be it actual blocks or books, boxes. You could use your water bottle, a thermos, just something to rest your hand on. I recommend having something to use as a yoga strap, be it an actual yoga strap, a belt, some rope. Most of us attending are kinky people, so if you have rope, that's awesome. Just make sure to double or triple it up, maybe in quadruple, just so that it's a little bit wider than a single strand. I also recommend having your water bottle for when you get thirsty, and also a hand towel. Now, this is both to wipe off sweat, but also to use as padding in kneeling positions. So with a standard hand towel, I recommend folding it in half and then twice in half the other direction. That way you have eight layers of fabric that's going to rest under your knee. All right, so we're going to go and get started. So we're going to start at the back of our yoga mats in a posture called child's pose. So knees nice and wide, big toes touching, hips all the way down to your heels. Walk your hands forward, bring your forehead down to your yoga mat. And I did warn some people, if you were in pup hoods, pup masks, kitty hoods, kitty masks, whatever you're wearing, your snout might get a little squished if it's a softer material. So in this position, this is child's pose, the resting posture. You can feel free to leave this a passive stretch. You can also make this active by pressing your hands into the ground to send your hips further toward your heels. Deep breaths in. Feel your belly expand down. And deep breaths out. Feel your belly come back up toward your spine. Inhale. And exhale. A few more breaths here. Feel your belly and chest expand on the inhale, and the belly and chest retract on the exhale. One more inhale, and exhale. All right, inhale, rise up to tabletop. Stack your shoulders over your wrists and your hips over your knees. So we're gonna do some wrist opening here. Starting with your fingers facing forward, just gonna go in circles, one direction, 3 to 5 times. And then switch to the other direction, just to balance things out a little bit, 3 to 5 times. Try to do the same number you did on the other side, or the other direction rather. Now, that's version 1. Version 2, rotate your fingers to the left and right, then rotate your arms so your elbows also face the left and right. And then just start to shift from side to side. Those of us who work at a desk, use a keyboard a lot, these stretches will be really good for you. So that's version 2. Version 3 is rotating your fingers back towards your knees. Now, if you can only rotate back to about 45 degrees, that's fine. Pick a side, say your right side, bring your elbow back towards your right fingertips. And then come back up to center, and then switch sides, left elbow towards left fingertips. Inhale, center, moving with the breath. Exhale, back. Inhale, center, and exhale, back. Now, for those who can, put your fingers all the way back. Inhale, and exhale, just slightly come back. Your heels of your palms might slightly lift. Inhale, come back to center, and exhale, back. 2 more rounds. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Inhale forward. And exhale back. Inhale, come back up. Rotate your fingers back to the front. Walk your hands toward your knees. Feel free to roll out your wrists a little bit. Now, that's all for your flexors, the muscles that control curling your fingers in, flexing your hand and wrist. Now we're going to work the extensors. Those who work on the computer, you use your extensors all the time when you're typing. So hands on the mat, just in front of your knees. Almost all of your weight is in your lower body. Bring the backs of your hands down, fingertips facing each other. Create a fist with both hands, then slide those fists together, elbows nice and bent. Inhale here, maintain the fist nice and tight and the fist together. Exhale, start to straighten your arms until you feel a good stretch, not pain, going for a stretch. Inhale, lower down. Exhale, lift. 3 more. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Last one. Inhale, lower. And exhale, lift. All right. Feel free to shake your wrists and hands out if you need to. And then come back to a tabletop. Shoulders over wrists, hips over knees, tops your feet down to the ground. Now for some spinal work. So we're going to inhale, lower the belly down, arch the tail up, turn the gaze up. This is cow pose. And exhale, cat. Tuck your tail underneath you, bring chin to chest and your back towards the sky. Inhale, cow, belly down, turn your gaze up, draw your shoulder blades together and down your back. And exhale, cat, tuck the tail underneath you, chin to chest and the back high, spread your shoulder blades away from each other. 3 more rounds. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. 1 more. Inhale, down. And exhale, up. And come back to a neutral tabletop, back parallel to the ground. Shift your weight to your left hand or paw. Inhale your right one up to the sky. Turn your gaze up and look past your right fingertips. And then exhale, thread the needle. We're going to slide your right arm under your left arm, bend your left elbow, bring your your right ear and shoulder to the ground. So this is thread the needle right here. Some of you might be feeling a stretch already. Feel free to leave this passive. If you'd like to make this active, press your left hand into the ground to increase the twist of your torso and spine. Take a deep breath in and out. Inhale and exhale. Gently unroll it a little bit if you were pressing. Inhale your right hand back up to the sky. Reach up high. Exhale, tabletop. Right hand back down to the ground. Inhale, left hand, reach up to the sky. Look past your left fingertips. Exhale, thread the needle. Bring your left arm under your right. Bend your right elbow, left shoulder and ear down to the ground. Whichever you did on the other side, be it passive or active, do that again here. So if you took it active, press your hand into the ground. Take another deep breath in and out, maybe press a little bit deeper. Unroll a little bit if you were pressing. Inhale your left hand back to the sky. And then exhale, tabletop. One thing I did forget to mention about child's pose. Child's pose is a resting posture. If you ever need to take a break in class, just come back to child's pose. That's all you have to do. Stay in child's pose until you are ready to rejoin the class. From tabletop, walk your hands forward, 1 hand print. Tuck your toes underneath you. Lift your knees up off the ground. Send your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Spread your fingers nice and wide. Press your chest towards your thighs. Now we're going to slowly walk in place here. We're going to bend your right knee, straighten your left leg, bringing the left heel down towards the ground. Feel a stretch in your left calf, ankle, maybe your hamstring. And then switch. Bend your left knee, straighten your right leg. Still pressing your chest toward your thighs. And just gently switch back and forth at your own pace, just to warm up the calves, the ankles, the hamstrings, preparing your body for the rest of class. And then come back to a static down dog. Really press your chest toward your thighs. Start with your knees bent so you find a nice flat spine. Now, as long as your spine stays fairly flat, start to straighten your legs with your heels further down towards the ground. It doesn't matter if your heels are inches above the ground or making contact. What matters is that you are here and now, in this on your mat, in this posture. Take another deep breath in and out. Inhale, look forward, adjust your eyes and head, look between your hands. Exhale, ragdoll, walk your feet behind your wrists, feet remain shoulder width distance. Your knees should be fairly bent and you're still in this forward fold here. Low belly resting on your thighs, head hangs heavy. Take your right hand, grab your left elbow, left hand, grab your right elbow. Feel free to stay here. Do a little bit more, let your arms just dangle. What you're moving is your torso itself. The legs also stay stationary. Sway your torso side to side. Should feel a good stretch in your low back. You're not really moving the arms independently, you're just moving the torso itself. And then come back to center. Release your hands down. Slowly roll up one vertebra at a time, coming up to a stand. When you reach the top, take a couple shoulder rolls. First one direction, and then the other. Bring your hands together in a prayer position in front of your heart, thumbs against your sternum, close your eyes. Exhale all of your air. Inhale through your nose, fill up. And exhale, let it go. One thing that separates yoga, physical yoga practice from just general stretching is that we are working with an intention, a dedication. This could be something for yourself, something for someone you know and love. Could also be a philosophy. If you don't have your own intention to set for today's class, I offer up the intention of just being present in this space, on your mat, in your body, in this moment. It doesn't matter what anyone else's posture looks like. Do what feels best in your body and try to give your body exactly what it needs. If it needs you to hold a stretch for longer, do so. If it needs you to back out a stretch sooner, do so as well. To help seal this intention, exhale all of your air once more. Inhale through your nose, fill up. And exhale, let it go. Release your hands down. Walk your feet together. Big toes touching, just a little bit space in between your heels with your feet up towards the top of your mat. All right. So inhale, reach your arms up to the sky. Hands stay about shoulder width distance, palms facing one another. I know you can't quite see my palms here. So keep your arms up. I'm going to use my hands to kind of demonstrate certain things. So to help engage the muscles in your body for this, I recommend lifting your pubic bone up towards your heart / tucking your tailbone underneath you. Bring the low ribs in and down a little bit. Draw your shoulder blades together and down the back. Gaze is directly forward. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. This is Urdhva Hastasana, or upward salute. Inhale, bring your palms together, interlace your fingers, all of your fingers except your index finger. So your pointer finger is still pointing up towards the sky. This is Kali Mudra. And we're going to exhale, side bend to the right. Feel a stretch in your left side. If you can, if it's comfortable in your neck, rotate your head, look under your left arm, up at the ceiling or sky. Inhale, rise back up. Exhale, side bend to the left. Feel a stretch on your left side. Again, turn your gaze up to the sky. Descend your shoulders away from your ears that they lifted up. Take a deep breath in. And out. Inhale, rise back up. Release your hands. We're going to fold forward. So you can either bring your hands to heart center or, minding the things around you, swan dive down. That is up to you. Your choice. It's your practice. Inhale, halfway lift. Bring palms to shins just below the knees. Find a nice flat back. I'm going to rotate a little bit so you can see what I'm talking about here. So you're going to have your back fairly parallel to the ground. Now, if your back is like this, with your hand on your shins, bend your knees. Remove some stretch from your hamstrings to find a flatter spine. Do what you need to do to find a flatter back, whether that's to bend your knees more or less. Listen to your body. Be present with it here and now. Inhale with your gaze directly down below your face. Lengthen your spine. Exhale, high plank. Plant your palms, step back to the top of a push-up. Now to help engage the muscles in your body here for this high plank, lift the inner arches of your feet a little bit towards your groin to activate your inner thighs. Lift your pubic bone towards your heart. Press the center of your upper back towards the sky. Deep breath in and out. Inhale, shift forward onto your tip toes so your shoulders are over your fingertips. Exhale, lower all the way down to your belly. Untuck your toes, draw your legs together. Slide your hands back just enough so your fingertips are about nipple level. Chin on the mat. Exhale all of your air. Inhale, baby cobra. Press the tops of your feet down to the ground. Lift your knees up. Engage your glutes. Lift your chest up off the ground. Your gaze should be about 6 to 12 inches in front of your mat to help keep your neck in neutral. Maybe lift your hands up off the ground because you're not actually pressing. You're just using your back. Inhale, lift up even higher. Exhale, lower down. Retuck your toes. Place your hands back underneath your shoulders. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, down dog. Shift your hips up and back. So come down to your knees for a moment. I'm gonna just describe a couple things for a second. So the distance between your hands and your feet in downward facing dog is just the same as your high plank, which is why we're able to go from high plank to downward facing dog without having to move our hands or feet. So that whole little sequence we just did with the baby cobra, pressing back up and then shifting back to downward facing dog, that can be called a vinyasa. This is a series of connecting postures to get you back to your home base, to your downward facing dog. There are a couple of different ways you can do this. You can always take the baby cobra. Another very common way to get back to down dog, is chaturanga dandasana. It is a high to mid plank, and I'll demonstrate. So a couple different ways to do this. The full version, your knees are lifted, but there's a modified version with your knees down. So just like we did before, we come to a high plank. I'll demonstrate first. Shift forward, and if you need to lower the knees down, you can. Exhale, halfway down. You want to make sure that the eye of your elbow is pointing directly forward and your wrist is directly underneath your shoulder. That way, when you shift forward and lower down, your ribs and your elbows make automatic contact. Then inhale, upward facing dog, tops your feet down to the ground. Stack your shoulders over your wrists. Lift your knees up off the ground. Press the ground away as you sink your hips low. Your knees and hips should not be touching the ground. And then exhale, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Just for a visual to show how it looks with the knees down, from the high plank, shift forward, drop the knees. So it's the same thing, this just allows you to build some strength in your upper body. Exhale, lower halfway down, again, ribs to elbows. Inhale, upward facing dog, lift the knees back up off the ground, and then exhale, downward facing dog. All right, so you have chaturanga the knees, baby cobra. But also, if none of that sounds good for you right now, that's totally fine. Just hold high plank for a breath, and then shift up and back to downward facing dog. All right, so we're gonna first need to adjust this a little bit, sorry. There we go. Knee back and downward facing dog in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're gonna blow through 2 more rounds of that whole sequence on salutation A. 1 breath, 1 movement. Inhale, look forward between your hands. Exhale, walk your feet to the top of your mat, feet together this time. Inhale, halfway lift, palms to shins, find a nice flat back. Remember, if you need to bend your knees, bend your knees. Exhale, forward fold, straighten the legs if you bent them, reach down towards the ground. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, upward salute, reach your arms up to the sky. Bring your palms together, interlace your fingers except for your index finger. Exhale, side bend to the right. Feel a stretch in your left side. Inhale, center. Exhale, side bend to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale, forward fold. Again, your choice whether you swan dive down or hands to heart center. Hinge down towards the ground. I do recommend having straight legs here. It doesn't matter if you're all the way up here or palms on the ground. What matters is that you're in a passive hamstring stretch here. Let your head hang heavy. Inhale, halfway lift, palms to shins, find a nice flat spine. Exhale, flow through your vinyasa, be it baby cobra or chaturanga. So we're gonna step back, If you're doing baby cobra, lower all the way down. If you're doing chaturanga, only lower halfway down. Then inhale, upward facing dog or baby cobra, lift up. And then exhale, come back to down dog. For baby cobra, you'll need to press back up to high plank and then shift back. One more time through. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, walk to the top of your mat, feet together. Inhale, halfway lift, palms to shins. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep your arms up to the sky, reach up, gaze forward, not up, to help protect your neck. Interlace your fingers. Exhale, side bend to the right. You might be bend a little bit deeper this time. Inhale, rise back up. Exhale, side bend to the left. Inhale, center. Release your grip. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, parallel your spine to the ground. Gaze is directly down. Exhale, flow through your vinyasa to make back to downward facing dog. Again, your choice whether you use baby cobra or chaturanga on the knees. Lower halfway down or all the way down if you're doing baby cobra. Inhale, upward facing dog or baby cobra, lift up. Exhale, baby cobra, lower down. Everyone else, downward facing dog. Baby cobra, make your way back to a high plank and then downward facing dog. Moving on to sun salutation B. Typically we do 3 rounds of this. Today we're just going to do 2. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, travel to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Reset the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Shift your weight to your heels a little bit. Bend your knees, your hips back and down. Inhale, chair pose. So I'm gonna rotate a little bit so you can see what I'm talking about here. So the weight is in the heels. You're squeezing the thighs together, slight tuck of the tailbone, shoulders together and down the back, shoulder blades rather. And try to sink your hips back and down like you're trying to sit into a little like kindergarten chair. Inhale, and exhale. One more, in, and then exhale, forward fold. Now we make our way back to down dog. So inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, chaturanga or baby cobra. Plant your palms, step back, flow through. So for chaturanga, lower halfway down. Inhale, upward facing dog, press the ground away, lift your torso higher away from the ground. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Okay, so leaving your left heel nice and low and your hips square to the ground. Inhale your right heel up and back. Mindful of the things behind you, such as this curtain behind me. Scooch my mat a little forward. Inhale, lift your right heel up even higher. Exhale, low lunge. Step your foot between your hands. Now, if your foot stops about halfway through, that's totally fine. Just grab your ankle, assist it forward. Okay, so this is low lunge. We'll be here a couple times throughout the rest of class. But for now, we're gonna spiral the back heel down, and then inhale, warrior 2, shoulders over hips, parallel your arms to the ground. If you're looking at your feet, your front toes should be going directly forward, back toes directly to the left side of the room. And if you're to draw a line from your front heel to the back of the mat, it should intersect the arch of your back foot. Front knee over front ankle. If this is too much, shorten your stance. Arms parallel to the ground. And they should also be parallel the side of your mat, as should your shoulders and your hips. Take a deep breath in. And out, sink your knee over your ankle if it wasn't already. Inhale. Exhale, extended side angle. We're gonna tilt forward, bring your right forearm to your right thigh, you lift your left arm directly up to the sky. Now, this is version 1, with your gaze looking over your left shoulder up towards the sky. Version 2, reach your right hand down towards the ground. And version 3, reach your left arm towards the front of the room. Even when you're reaching forward, move your shoulder away from your ear. Take a deep breath in and out. Inhale, reverse warrior. Come back up momentarily to warrior 2 and then tilt back. Bring your right hand up and back like you're trying to high five the wall behind you. Slide your left hand down the outside of your left leg. But you're not really putting a lot of pressure on your leg. You're just letting your hand rest. Leave your front knee over your front ankle. Inhale, tilt up and back a little further. Feel a stretch in your right side. Exhale, we're gonna cartwheel our hands down. Reframe your front foot. Step back to high plank. And then flow through your vinyasa back to downward facing dog. So that's side A. your right side. Now for side B. Inhale, left leg up and back. Melt your right heel low. Square your hips to the ground. Inhale, left heel up even higher. Exhale, low lunge. Again, if you need to assist your foot forward, that's totally fine. Spiral the back heel down. Inhale, warrior two. Shoulders over hips. Parallel your arms to the ground. Now, we can use the same core activation that we did in Urdhva Hastasana here in this warrior two posture. So the slight tuck of the tail, low ribs in and down, shoulder blades together and down the back. Deep breath in and out. Inhale. Exhale, extend a side angle, bring your forearm to your thigh, left forearm to thigh, reach your right arm up to the sky. Your front knee stays over your front ankle. Again, this is version 1. Version 2, reach your left fingers down towards the ground while your torso doesn't really change here. The left arm just reaches down. You're using your core to keep yourself lifted. Version 3, reach your right arm forward towards the top of the mat for a side stretch. Deep breath in. Exhale, maybe press your left arm into your thigh a little bit deeper to help increase the twist of your torso. Leave your front knee where it is. Inhale, reverse warrior. Kind of pit stop in warrior two, then tilt back. Bring right hand to your back leg, left hand up and back, again, like you're trying to high five the wall behind you. Shoulders away from your ears, front knee stays over your front ankle. Inhale, up and back a little further. Exhale, flow through your vinyasa, roll down, step back, and flow. Come down to your knees for a second. So just one thing I want to point out with the gaze, with where we're looking. So in these warrior postures, I recommend doing an alternation of rotation. So with the right leg forward, you first turn to the right, then turn to the left as you're tilting forward, then turn to the right while tilting back. Make sure you're just rotating left and right rather than tilting back and then turning, because you can really kink your neck that way in not fun ways. These are not kinks we like. So try to just remember to do a rotation, not tilting back. So we're gonna do one more round flow of Sun B. Knee back and downward facing dog in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. See if your heels will sink a little bit deeper. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, walk your feet together at the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, parallel your spine to the ground. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chair pose. Shift your weight to your heels, bend your knees, and hips back and down. Lift the biceps up by your ears. Then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, reset your spine. Exhale, flow through your vinyasa, touch palms, step back, make your way back to downward facing dog. Again, your choice, whether you're using chaturanga the knees, baby cobra, or saying fuck it and just holding high plank until you shift back to down dog. Listen to your body. If your body's saying fuck it, then do that. Inhale, right leg up and back. Leave your left heel low, reach right leg up and back a little higher. Exhale, low lunge. Step your foot between your hands. Assist it forward if you need. Inhale, warrior two, spiral open towards the left side of the room. Front knee over front ankle, parallel your arms to the ground. Now your back foot is perpendicular to your front foot. Exhale, extend that angle, be it for up the thigh, to reach down, or to reach forward with the top arm. Listen to your body. What does it want? What does it need? Inhale, reverse warrior, tilt up and back. Rest your left hand on your left thigh. Leave your front knee over your front ankle. Try to reach the top of the wall behind you with your right arm. Exhale, flow through your vinyasa. Cartwheel down, step back, lower halfway or all the way, depending what you're doing. Inhale, upward facing. In upward facing, make sure the tops of your feet are down on the ground, not toes tucked. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg up and back. Square your hips to the ground. Exhale, low lunge. Step your foot between your hands. Inhale, warrior two, spiral open towards the right side of the room. Arms parallel to the ground. Exhale, extend that angle. Tilt forward and down, be it forearm to thigh, reaching towards the ground with your left hand, or reaching forward with your right hand. Inhale, reverse warrior, tilt up and back. Leave your front knee over your front ankle. Slide your right hand down the outside of your leg. Inhale, exhale, flow through your vinyasa, cartwheel down, step back and flow. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Come on down to your knees. Feel free to towel off and sip of water. So this is where you might need that hand towel. So make sure it's accessible next to your mat. All right, so we'll meet back in down dog. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a deep breath in and out. Inhale, right leg up and back. Exhale, low lunge. Now, we're going to take that towel, if you need it, place it underneath your left knee as you set your left knee down. And if you don't need the towel, you don't need it. So like for myself, I'm on puzzle mats with my yoga mat on top of that, so I don't need it. But if you're on yoga mat on hardwood or even thin carpet, you might. If you don't have a hand towel, something else that you can do is to press your shin into the ground to help engage the muscles around your knee to help protect your knee that way. It just takes a lot more work. So we're going to do some stretches for the hip flexor here. Those of us who work at a desk, our legs and torso are more like this the entire time. But and so that muscle can kind of shorten over time when we help stretch that back out. So version 1, place both hands on the top of your mat, of your thigh. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, send your hips forward and down. Keep your shoulders over your hips. Inhale up. So that's version 1. Version 2, you're gonna reach your left arm up, bend the elbow, touch the top of your back if you can. This elongation helps stretch more muscles in this area. Exhale, hips forward and down. Your choice whether you're doing version 1 or 2. Inhale, come up. Exhale, forward and down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. One more. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. Inhale, come back up. Bring your left hand back to your thigh. So this is where those blocks can come in handy. Place them on either side, about 2/3 way down your thigh, going forward from your hips. Rest your hands or fingertips on your blocks or whatever you're using as blocks. Straighten your front leg. Flex your toes toward your face. We're working towards what's called a half split. Some people might already be feeling a stretch here in the lateral hamstring. If you need to stay here, that's totally fine. For those who can and want to move forward, inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, start to tilt forward. Bring your belly closer to your thigh until you feel a good stretch in the lateral hamstring. While we're in this stretch, I'm going to teach you the difference between medial and lateral for those who are not in any sort of medical location. So going down the middle of the body, bisecting the face and the torso and down the legs, you have what's called the midline. Anything that's closer to the midline is medial. Anything further away is lateral. On the back of your thigh, you have 2 sets of hamstrings, your medial set and lateral set. When your hips are perpendicular to your legs, you're stretching the lateral set. One more deep breath in and out. Inhale, come back up. Rebend your front leg. Knee over ankle. Set the blocks aside. Inhale, both arms up to the sky. So this is a kneeling crescent lunge. You are welcome to stay low like this. If you would like to try something a little more advanced, tuck your back toes, lift the back knee for a high crescent lunge. Listen to your body. If you come up and the body says no, come back down. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, make sure your front knees are over your front ankle. Bring your left hip a little bit more forward, right hip a little back so your hips are square to the top of the mat. Tuck your tail a little bit more to help increase the stretch here in your hip flexor. Inhale. Exhale, hands heart center, creating a straight line going from elbow through wrist opposite elbow. Inhale, lean forward about 45 degrees. Exhale, revolved crescent lunge. We're going to hook your left elbow on the outside of your right thigh. Twist towards the right. Try to bring your thumbs back toward your sternum, toward your heart. If you came up off your back knee and need to come back down, feel free to do so. If you want to stay high, that's fine too. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, press your right hand into left hand and elbow into your thigh to help increase the twist of the torso. Maybe turn your gaze over your right shoulder up towards the sky, depending on your neck and your balance. One more inhale and exhale. Inhale, look down. Exhale, runner's lunge. You're going to plant both palms on the inside of your right foot. Set the back knee down. So the difference between runner's lunge and low lunge. Runner's lunge, or lizard's pose, and other forms of yoga, your hands on the inside of your front leg. So we're gonna walk your right foot out to the right edge of your mat and a little forward to your ankles in front of your knee. Your back knee is lowered. Sink your hips forward and down. Make any adjustments you might need in your gear. All right, so this is runner's lunge already. So you can feel free to stay here. If you'd like to do get a little bit more, come on down to your forearms, be it forearms to a block or blocks if you need to stack them, or if you can, forearms to ground. Let your head hang heavy no matter which version you're in, as long as it's comfortable. Option to nod your head, yes. To shake your head, no. To open and close your mouth, release your jaw. Should feel a good stretch, maybe in your right inner thigh and your left hip flexor. Your right knee might drift out to the right a little bit, and that's fine. Take a deep breath in and out. Come back up to your palms. Set your block aside if you use a block. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, step back to high plank. So we're gonna go into side plank. So we're gonna shift your weight to your right palm, tilt your heels to the right, lift your left arm up to the sky. Now, if you need to, you can drop the bottom knee down and kickstand your foot behind you for this modification. So let's consider this like version 0.5. Then you have version 1 with one foot in front of the other. Version 2 is one foot on top of the other. For more, version 3, lift your leg up towards the sky. Inhale, hips a little higher. Exhale, left hand down, left foot down. Make your way back to downward facing dog. Your choice, whether you flow through vinyasa or just shift up and back. Inhale, left leg up and back. Exhale, low lunge. Step your foot between your hands. Set the back knee down, use your towel if you need it. Shoulders over hips, hands in your front thigh. So again, version 1, hands in front thigh. Version 2, bring your right arm up and then touch the top of your back. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, send your hips forward and down. Inhale, hips up and back. I'm gonna rotate a little bit. Exhale, forward and down. Should feel a good stretch in your right hip flexor. 3 more rounds. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. 1 more. Inhale, up. And exhale, down. All right. Come back up. Grab your blocks. Make sure your blocks are as high as you can have them. Straighten your front leg. Flex your toes toward your face. Try to keep your hips fairly square to the top of the mat. Inhale, lengthen the spine. And again, if you're already feeling a stretch here, feel free to stay here. For a little bit more, hinge forward. Maybe walk your blocks forward. Maybe change the height of your blocks. Depends on you, your body, and its capabilities. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, hinge. Again, this is a good stretch for the lateral hamstring. Listen to your body. Try to be present here and now. Not thinking about what was happening earlier in the day, not thinking about what's happening after, just thinking about this stretch in this moment. Deep breath in and out. Inhale, start to come back up. Rebend your front knee, set your blocks aside. Inhale, kneeling crescent, reach your arms up to the sky. Now, if you stayed in kneeling crescent on the other side, do so on this side, keep balance between the two sides. For those who came to high crescent, tuck the back toes, lift the back knee into this high crescent lunge. Draw your right hip forward, left hip back, help square your hips to the top of the mat. Tuck your tail a little bit more, shift your knee over your front ankle. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, hands heart center. Again, create that straight line from elbow to wrist opposite elbow. Inhale, tilt forward about 45 degrees. Exhale, revolve crescent. Hook your elbow on the outside of your front thigh. As you inhale, lengthen your spine. As you exhale, twist a little deeper. Whoop. As I pull down a little bit. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Try to bring your thumbs back to your heart. Inhale, look down. Exhale, runner's lunge. Plant your palms on the inside of your left foot. Walk your left foot to the outside edge of your mat. Set the back knee down. If you came down to your forearms on the other side, do so again here, be it forearms to block or forearms to ground. Let your head hang heavy once more. Option to nod yes. Shake your head no. To open and close your mouth, release your jaw. Take a deep breath in and deep breath out. Start to come back up to your palms. Tuck your back toes. Lift your back knee. Step back to high plank. Second side here, so we're going to shift our weight to the left side, left hand, tilt your heels to the left, reach your right arm up to the sky. Side plank, stack your shoulders, stack your hips. Again, option to drop the bottom knee down if you need it. Option to also stack your feet or lift your top leg. Inhale, hips a little higher, and exhale, flow through your vinyasa. Plant the right palm, plant the right foot, flow through, make your way back to down dog. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, walk to the top of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, slowly come up. So we're gonna do a little bit of balancing work here. Pretty standard yoga balancing posture, tree pose. I'm sure everyone has seen an image of tree pose. You're gonna have your palms together in front of your heart. Shift your weight to your right hand, weight to your right foot. We're gonna bend your left knee, rotate your left leg out to the left. Now, start with the ball of your foot on the ground, heel against your leg. This is already tree pose. If you can and would like to do a little bit more, slide your foot up to your calf. Keep your hips square to the space in front of you. For more still, lift your foot up to your inner thigh, assist it up if you need to. Avoid your knee, do not put any pressure on the inside of your knee. Your knee is meant to bend forward and back, not side to side. Deep breaths in and deep breaths out. So keep your gaze locked on something in front of you, that's not me, something that does not move. Could be a light switch, could be a doorknob, could be a spot on the wall, could be a chew toy, whatever's in front of you. This is your drishti, your focal point. Bring all your attention to this point will help with the balance. Physically, press your inner thigh and foot together in this isometric hold. This will also help with your balance. About another 15 seconds here. If you fall out, that's totally fine, just hop back in. All right, inhale your left knee forward, exhale, release your foot down. Feel free to shake that side out if you need to. And then bring your hands back in front of your heart. Shift your weight to your left foot. And we're gonna take tree on the right. So start with your knee bent, rotate your leg out to the right, ball your foot on the ground, heel against your leg. For more, slide your foot up to your calf. For more still, bring your foot up to your inner thigh. Keep your gaze locked on something in front of you. Press your foot into your standing leg as much as you're pressing your standing leg into your foot, finding this isometric hold. For more still, you can take an arm variation to grow branches, which can either be reaching out, reaching up, whatever your body calls for right now. Some people reach forward. And then also people just keep their hands at heart center. Try to listen to your body. Take a deep breath in and out. Inhale, exhale, hands to heart center if you were taking a variation. Inhale your right knee forward, exhale, release your foot down. Step to the top of the mat if you were not there already. Inhale, arms to the sky, reach up, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, palms to shins. Exhale, touch palms, step back, just shift back to downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in and out. Inhale, exhale, lower your knees down. Extend your legs out long in front of you. Legs together. So this is where your strap can come into place. So in a seated forward fold, some people like to use a strap. You just loop it on the bottom of your feet. If you're using rope, make sure to, again, have your rope kind of folded in 2 or 4, just so that it's a little wider than a single strand. Now, I will say, if you have yoga blocks, actual yoga blocks, but you're having trouble sitting with your shoulders over your hips, take one of your blocks and sit on it. This will increase the angle between your torso and your hips, and your legs rather, and make it much easier to actually hinge forward. So for those with the strap, whether you have a block under your butt or not, you're going to inhale, sit up tall, and exhale, walk your hands forward until you feel a good stretch in your lateral hamstrings. Once you find your depth with one hand, take the other hand and cup it, just to help keep your shoulders square to your feet. Those who aren't using your strap and or aren't using a block under your butt, inhale, arms up. Exhale, hinge forward, grab what's accessible, calves, ankles, feet, toes. Something I like to do once I was able to reach my big toes is take my peace fingers, my index and middle finger, wrap them around the big toes. That way, the eye of my elbows are pointing up towards the sky. This makes it easier to use my biceps to pull myself a little bit deeper. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, maybe hinge a little bit deeper. Inhale, slowly rise back up. And exhale, lower all the way down to your back. I'm going to bend your knees, bring your heels close to your butts, close to your glutes. Shift your feet and knees out to about shoulder width distance. I'm going to rotate so you can see more what I'm talking about here. So we're prepping for what's called bridge pose. Traditional bridge, you bind your arms underneath you. Something that I find more effective and a little bit easier is to find robot arms. So we're creating a 90-degree bend in the elbow, palms facing each other. We're going for robot, not T-Rex. So gaze up towards the sky, feet and knees shoulder width distance with robot arms ready. Exhale all your air. Inhale, press down with your heels, engage the glutes, lift your hips up. Now that brings the hips up, which is great, and your chest does lift. But for even more of a back bend, press your elbows and triceps into the ground to bring your chest real closer to your chin. But make sure to draw your chin away from your chest. Press down into your heels more. Press down into your triceps more. Deep breath in and out. Inhale. Lift your heels up off the ground. Relax the arms down. Slowly bring your torso down one vertebra at a time. Once your pelvis reaches the ground, then lower your heels down. Let your knees fall wide, glue the soles of your feet together. Rest one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. Close your eyes for a moment. Just being present here in this space, feeling the rise and fall of your breath. Take another deep breath in and out. So now we're going to bring your knees back up towards the sky, feet on the ground. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh. Let the right knee fall down as much as is comfortable. Take your right hand, reach between your legs. Left hand on the outside. Grab your hamstring and pull your knee towards your chest. This is a supine pigeon. It's a modified version of half pigeon. You should feel a good stretch in the outer right hip. Deep breaths in and out. Relax your legs as much as you can. All that's really engaging here are your fingers and biceps. So if your knee is feeling a little wonky, flex your right toes towards your right knee to help protect the knee. About halfway there. If you can get your knee close enough, your left knee, feel free to grab your left shin instead. And of course, if you already practice yoga and want you to do half pigeon to sleeping pigeon instead, that's totally fine. Just keeping things a little simpler today. Take another deep breath in and exhale both feet back down to the ground. Take a deep breath in and out. Now cross your left ankle over your right thigh. Let the left knee fall down. Grab your right hamstring with both hands. Your left hand will reach between the legs. Gently pull your knee towards your chest. Feel a stretch now on your left outer hip. Relax your legs as much as you can. If you need to, flex your left toes towards your knee to help protect the knee. Again, if you get your knee close enough, grab your shin instead. I tend to interlace my hands around my shin. This side might feel a little tighter than the other, or might feel a little looser. This is not something to judge. This is only something to note. Perhaps close your eyes to really bring your awareness inward. See if you can mentally let these muscles relax a little bit more. Take another deep breath in, and exhale, release. Both feet back down to the ground. Now, we're gonna bring your arms out to a T on the ground. Float your knees up over your hips, parallel your shins to the ground. So we have a 90-degree bend in the hips and the knees, perhaps the ankles as well. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, send both your knees to the left. Turn your gaze to the right in this gentle supine twist. For a little bit more, straighten your left leg towards the top of the mat. For a little bit more still, take your left hand, rest it about 2/3 the way down the thigh from the hip of the right leg. You do not want to put pressure on the knee, and we're just resting the hand. Just add a little bit of extra weight. We're not actually pressing. Take a deep breath in and out. Pull your both knees back up over your hips. And exhale, supine twist to the right. Turn your gaze to the left. If you straighten the bottom leg on the other side, do so again on this leg, on the side. If you rested your hand on your thigh on the other side, do so again here. Find that balance between the two sides. Take a deep breath in and out. Keep your shoulder blades glued to the ground. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, bring both knees back up over your hips. And then bring your knees into your chest. Bring your hands on the outside of your thighs and then behind your knees. Bring your knees out and down towards your shoulders. Float your feet above your knees. Keep your sacrum, the center of the back of your pelvis, down on the ground. So this is version 1 of happy baby, sometimes known as happy bottom. For a little bit more, if you can keep your sacrum down on the ground, bring your hands between your legs, grab your calves, ankles, outsides of your feet, or big toes. Just as long as your sacrum stays on the ground. No matter what variation you're in, option to rock side to side. Maybe massage your low back a little bit. Take a deep breath in and deep breath out. Come back to center. Bring your knees into your chest. Curl up into the smallest ball you can. Wrap your forearms around your shins, forehead up towards your knees. Inhale, squeeze, bend together nice and tight. And then exhale, Shavasana, corpse pose. Adjusting things here, sorry. So legs down to the ground, arms at your sides, palms can either be face down to ground or face up to receive a little energy from the universe. Close your eyes. Let everything relax here into the mat. There's nothing to do, nowhere to go, only to be here and now. Take slow, deep breaths. Feel free to stay in your Shavasana, your corpse pose, as long as you wish. If you are ready to move on with your evening, with your day, whatever time of day it is that you're watching this, start to bring some small movements back into your body. Wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers, roll out your ankles, roll out your wrists, draw your right ear to the mat, and then your left. Take a nice long full body stretch with your fingers towards the wall behind you, toes towards the wall in front of you. Stretch everything out nice and long. Float your knees up over your hips and roll onto your side. Either side, doesn't matter. Shifting from corpse pose into fetal pose. Corpse pose represents the end/death of our practice, whereas fetal pose represents new beginnings and rebirth. Use your hands to press yourself up to a seat facing the front of the room. Bring hands to heart center. Exhale all of your air, close your eyes. Inhale through your nose, fill up. Exhale, let it go. Yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery. Today is a gift. That's why today is called the present. Inhale, your thumbs up to your forehead, connecting your heart to your mind. And exhale, bow forward. Namaste. Thank you guys for joining me in today's class. For those who are currently attending the class, just hold on a little bit. I want to ask for some feedback. For those who will be watching this class later, feel free to leave any comments as feedback or shoot me a message. For those who are in Chicagoland, I am both a yoga teacher and also a massage therapist. If you have any interest in either a private yoga lesson or a massage, feel free to reach out to me. My website is cummingswellness.com. Or if you are also interested in a virtual private yoga lesson where we tailor a yoga flow to you based on your body and its capabilities and what you're willing to focus on, feel free to reach out to me as well. I hope you enjoyed today's class, and I hope to do this again once a month for at least the next few months, if not continuously. But I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll talk to you later. Namaste.